Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Hello, it's Miracle Mom and Michael.
Where we left off, Mom is reminiscing about a man in her life who she lusted for. No, just kidding. Um, where we were was I'm 4, almost 5 something at the time. My sister Michelle is 5, maybe 6. And we finish school and we go off to live with dear old dad in Northern California while Mom gets to be a single woman again.
Yes, not for long.
Not for long. All right, go ahead.
Well, the way it happened was we had at his job where he worked, he had made friends with some people. He had a few friends.
If you're
I
just
had
tuning
friends.
in, he is Larry. All right, go ahead.
Yes, Larry. Anyway, so we had a circle of friends socially, both of us from our jobs, and we would go out to dinner and stuff like that together. And I don't know, we played cards. I think we went bowling a couple times, just things that you would do as couples.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so one day I'm at work and he calls me and he says he had a friend who was a judge at the courthouse in Phoenix. And he called me up and he says, "Look, I forget the guy's name. I want to say it was Ken something, but anyway." He says, "Look, I've been talking to Ken. He's in the office over here. Why don't you take your lunch break and we'll just get married?" He said he could marry us in the office. So let's go get married. So, so I dragged a friend of mine from work on my lunch break
Wait, wait,
as
wait,
a
wait, wait,
witness.
wait, 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 wait. Back up, back up. So, had you guys been talking about getting
Oh,
married? So you were living together for
yeah.
a couple months at this time?
Six months. We've been together about 6 months.
You'd been together, but living together?
Yeah.
Oh, so
Well,
what? He moved in right away?
no, I think we dated for about 2 or 3 months and then he moved in and it was
Okay.
about 3 months later
All right. And so this
he
talk of
wanted to get married.
this talk of marriage thing, did it ever come up?
Oh, I'm sure we discussed it, but I've never been. Uh, I was not the type of child who you hear these women talk about being little girls and they have this dream, of this fancy wedding and being,
Mm-hmm.
like a princess in a wedding and all that.
Clearly,
That
no,
was
that's not you.
no, clearly that is not me. Uh,
So,
so
so just so I got this straight, you're at
yeah,
work, and
I'm
he's
at
at
work.
and he's at work, and
Right.
and he calls you on the phone, and he says, "Let's get married right now."
Well, yeah, he did. That's what he said.
Okay, just
He's
just just making sure I got it straight. Okay.
so so. I went took the receptionist, one of the receptionists at the hospital where I was working. We were good friends. Anyway, she said, "Oh, you're gonna go get married? Oh, okay. Well, I'll come along. I'll be the witness." So I dragged her along, and we did. We went to the judge's office, and he performed the ceremony, and we were married. And he did have a ring. It wasn't a diamond. It was just a wedding band.
Mm-hmm.
There was no no engagement ring that went on here. But he did have a wedding band, so we did get married. He had his own, he had one for me, and we were married in front of the judge, performed the ceremony, and he went back to work, and I went back to work. You talk about a crazy mother. You've got one. But you know what? Your mother's half crazy, but you turned out all right.
So I got a question for you. So
Sure.
you go into work that morning, you go about your business, nursing around, you're nursing here and you're nursing there, and then you get a call. Oh, I'm gonna go get married at lunch. You take a friend of yours, you go get married at lunch, come back to work. Did it
Yeah.
did it feel different?
Oh, God, I don't know. It wasn't. I'd been with him long enough that I decided, this was a person who would be kind to my children. He seemed to be, take responsibility. He had a job. He sort of fit all those categories, that list that I'm going to go down.
Mm-hmm.
But who would be okay, to spend my life with after what I'd been through before.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the conclusion I came to. And I did. I cared about him. I liked him. We liked each other.
All right. I do.
I do. Should I or shouldn't I?
Put a ring on it.
Well, it had a lot to do with the way he treated you and Michelle,
Yeah.
first of all.
Yeah. And so I don't know if it was in this segment I mentioned it or in the previous segment, but I remember having such a positive experience with him that I think I might have just blurted this out one time when we were goofing around or playing or something, that I wanted to take his last name.
I mean, he's the one. He was the one who'd get down on the floor and wrestle with you guys,
Yep.
play with you, and play games and goof around, and he intentionally spent time with you, and he spent probably more time with you than I did, because I'm working and I get home and I'm tired, and last thing I want to do is roll around on the floor for sure. But he was like that. He really did interact with you both, and so that was a huge plus at that time.
Well, let me just say, as we wrap up this segment, I'm glad I didn't take his last name. I'm glad I kept my last name. And the good times were not to last.
No, they were not.
There, that's a cliffhanger. So you're just going to have to come back, all right?
Okay.
Bye everybody.
Goodbye.